A major and dangerous Arctic blast is developing across the United States, and this is going to bring life-threatening cold, significant snowfall, and hazardous conditions that you need to be aware of and prepared for. We are looking at the most intense Arctic outbreak of 2025, with wind chills potentially crashing to 50 degrees below zero, actual air temperatures plunging to 30 degrees below zero, and at least 2 rounds of significant snowfall across a massive portion of the country. This is a serious weather situation that requires your attention. This storm system and Arctic blast will impact dozens of states, from Montana all the way to Florida, over the next several days. We are talking about the kind of dangerous cold that can shatter records, strain infrastructure, and create immediate danger for anyone exposed. On top of that dangerous cold, we have multiple Alberta Clipper systems bringing snow to the northern plains, Midwest, and Ohio Valley. This is not just one system. This is a pattern that is lining up multiple problematic snow events stacked on top of extreme cold. If you live anywhere from the Dakotas through the Great Lakes, down into the Ohio Valley, and even into the Mid-Atlantic and Southeast, this is going to affect you, and here is what you need to know. This all begins today, Thursday, and continues through early next week. The most dangerous cold will arrive Saturday and Sunday, which is this weekend when many people would normally be out running errands or traveling. The heaviest snow arrives in 2 waves, today, Thursday into Friday, and then again Saturday into Sunday. That means today, Thursday, and Friday are your critical preparation days. This is when you need to get ready for what is coming. In today's forecast, we are going to break down exactly when this Arctic blast arrives in your specific area, how cold it is actually going to get city by city, what the wind chills will feel like, how much snow you can expect, and most importantly, what you need to do to stay safe and prepared through this dangerous weather pattern. Right now, we already have some significant weather happening across the country that is setting the stage for what is coming. In the Pacific Northwest, a catastrophic flooding event is currently unfolding across Washington and Oregon. Up to 100,000 Washington residents could be evacuated today, as we are expecting an additional 3 to 5 inches of rain on top of what has already fallen over the last few days. Catastrophic flooding impacts are likely across areas just outside of Seattle, with major river flooding expected for the next 24 to 36 hours at potentially record levels. If you are in northwestern Washington, near Everett, Mount Vernon, or anywhere in the catastrophic flood zone, take evacuation orders seriously. This is a very dangerous situation that is evolving right now. But shifting our focus to the historic winter weather pattern developing across the rest of the United States, we have a record-shattering Arctic blast about to arrive across the Midwest and Northern Plains. This is what we are going to focus on today because this is going to affect millions more people over the next several days. Let me walk you through the timeline on this system, because timing is everything when it comes to preparing and staying safe. As we go through today, Thursday, we already have below-average temperatures across the Midwest, Great Lakes, and Northeast. Temperatures are running about 10 degrees below average. This is just the beginning. We also have freezing rain and snow already falling across the Dakotas. In fact, there is an ice storm warning in effect in parts of northern South Dakota right now, as upwards of 1/4 to half an inch of ice is possible over the next few hours. This ice is creating dangerous travel conditions already. By around noon to 2 p.m. Thursday afternoon, that snow is going to spread across Minnesota and Iowa, including Des Moines and Minneapolis, where light to moderate snowfall is in play. But the heaviest snow this afternoon will be falling across Iowa, Illinois, southern Wisconsin, and back into Indiana. We are expecting a pretty decent period of heavy snow here, lasting around 3 to 6 hours. It will not be as long as the winter storm from a couple weeks ago, but nonetheless, this is going to be some significant snowfall that will create travel problems during the afternoon and evening commute. Come 6 to 7 p.m. Thursday evening, just after rush hour, we will have light to moderate snow falling near the Chicago area, west of Milwaukee near Madison, and in eastern parts of Iowa near Davenport. The heaviest snow at this time will be located from southern Indiana back to just north of Springfield, Illinois. Snowfall rates could reach 1 to 2 inches per hour in the heaviest bands. Picture here is 7 p.m. Thursday. You are driving home from work and snow is coming down steadily. Roads are becoming slick, visibility is dropping. This is when conditions deteriorate and travel becomes hazardous. By 9 to 10 p.m. Thursday night, that snow continues to move eastward into eastern Kentucky, southwestern Ohio, near Cincinnati, West Virginia, and across almost all of central and northern Indiana. If you are along Interstate 70, Interstate 65, or Interstate 69 in Indiana, this is going to impact your evening travel. For those of you in Indianapolis, Fort Wayne, or South Bend, plan for difficult driving conditions Thursday evening. As we go into the overnight hours Thursday into early Friday morning, that snow starts to weaken as it moves across the Appalachian Mountains. What is left over will fall across Virginia, very far southern Maryland, and even near Delaware before eventually ending by Friday afternoon. This first round of snow will bring widespread 2 to 6 inches across Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky. Some isolated areas could see closer to 8 inches where the heaviest bands set up. By Friday evening, the pattern shifts. Some lake-effect snow will try to develop across Michigan, though we are not expecting anything too significant there on Friday. The focus Friday evening is the cold. Our jet stream is going to be angled more out of the northwest, which is going to transport massive amounts of cold air from Canada across the northern plains and Midwest. Friday afternoon and evening, temperatures will already be falling to upwards of 30 degrees below average in Montana, the Dakotas, and Minnesota. Notice how fast this cold air arrives. This is not a gradual cool down. This is an Arctic blast that drops temperatures dramatically in just hours. Saturday morning is when this cold really intensifies and becomes dangerous. We are talking about widespread sub-zero temperatures across a massive area. Grand Forks and Fargo, you are looking at around 20 degrees below zero Saturday morning. Minneapolis, about 8 degrees below zero. Green Bay, around 7 degrees below zero. Chicago will be near zero. Milwaukee, right around 0 to 2 degrees below zero. These are dangerous actual air temperatures. This is the kind of cold where if you are not prepared, you can get into trouble quickly. These are not temperatures we see often, even in the northern United States. This is extreme cold that requires serious preparation. But Saturday is not the worst day. Sunday morning is going to be even colder, and this is when conditions become particularly dangerous. We are talking about temperatures as much as 30 to 35 degrees below zero across parts of Minnesota, Wisconsin, and the Dakotas. Back over northwest Minnesota, we could see some areas near negative 30 to negative 32 degrees. I want to point out that in the lower elevations, we have had really no areas this year that have reached 30 degrees below zero in the United States. This is challenging some of the coldest weather we have seen in the last 2 years. Not just this year. Chicago and Springfield, Illinois will be right around 0 degrees Sunday morning. Even during Sunday afternoon, temperatures might not even get above zero for some of you. Minneapolis is forecasting a high temperature, yes, a high temperature of negative 2 degrees Sunday afternoon. Green Bay coming in at 11 degrees. Chicago, about 14 degrees. We are talking about all-day dangerous cold on Sunday. By Monday, those sub-zero temperatures push even further south, making their way into Indiana and Ohio. Our freezing line is going to extend as far south as almost Jacksonville, Florida, also impacting areas near Tallahassee and right down toward New Orleans. Areas that normally do not deal with this kind of cold are going to need to prepare. Even if you are in Tennessee, Kentucky, or further south, you are going to be dealing with temperatures well below freezing and significantly below average for this time of year. By Tuesday, temperatures across the East Coast will still be running 10 to 20 degrees below average before we finally start to see a warm-up by the middle of next week. Now, if you are wondering how cold it is actually going to feel outside when you factor in the wind, this is where conditions become particularly dangerous and potentially life-threatening in some areas. Wind chills are going to be extreme across the Midwest this weekend. We are talking about a widespread area with wind chills between 20 to 40 degrees below zero. This is extremely dangerous cold. Do not go outside without multiple layers on. This is going to be very cold again on Sunday morning, and it is going to last all day Sunday for most of you in the Midwest. Saturday morning, wind chills are brutal. Minneapolis, your wind chill will be around -30 to -35 degrees. Fargo and Grand Forks, you could see wind chills approaching -40 to -45 degrees. Green Bay, wind chills around -25 degrees. Milwaukee, -20 to -25. Chicago, wind chills around -15 to -20 degrees. These are dangerous, potentially life-threatening wind chills. With wind chills this extreme, frostbite can occur in under 10 minutes of exposure. In the coldest areas like Fargo and Grand Forks, we are talking about 5 minutes or less. Any exposed skin is at risk. Sunday morning is even worse. Back over in Fargo and Grand Forks in North Dakota, wind chills could be near 50 degrees below zero. Let me repeat that. 50 degrees below zero for a feel-like temperature Sunday morning. Minneapolis, even about 30 to 35 degrees below zero. Madison, Wisconsin, around -30. Chicago, -20 to -25. You guys will all feel sub-zero literally all day for Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, Minnesota, and the Dakotas. Again, very dangerous conditions here. This means if you have to go outside this weekend, every single inch of exposed skin must be covered. Wear multiple layers of clothing, not just one heavy coat. Start with a base layer, add an insulating layer, then a windproof outer layer. Wear insulated gloves, not just regular gloves. If you have mittens, those are even better because they keep your fingers together and warmer. Wear a hat that covers your ears completely. Consider a face mask or thick scarf to protect your face and nose. Limit time outdoors to essential activities only. If you need to be outside for any extended period, go inside regularly to warm up. Watch for signs of frostbite, which include numbness, white or grayish skin, and firm or waxy skin. Watch for signs of hypothermia, which include shivering, confusion, slurred speech, and drowsiness. This is particularly dangerous for anyone who has to work outside, anyone waiting for a bus, children walking to and from school, elderly individuals, and anyone with existing health conditions. If you can avoid being outside for extended periods this weekend, do so. The good news is, if you take these precautions, if you dress properly in layers, you can stay safe even in these extreme conditions. The danger comes when people are unprepared or underestimate how cold it is going to be. Now let me break down the snowfall totals so you know exactly what to expect in your area. We have 2 separate Alberta Clipper systems coming through, which means snow in 2 rounds. The first round is happening right now through Friday, and the second round arrives Saturday into Sunday. When both of these systems are done, many areas will have picked up significant snow totals. Let me break this down city by city so you can find your specific amount. From the first Alberta Clipper today, Thursday into Friday, we are expecting widespread 2 to 6 inches of snow across Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and Kentucky. Des Moines, you are looking at around 3 to 5 inches. Chicago, about 2 to 4 inches. Indianapolis, around 4 to 6 inches. Fort Wayne, 3 to 5 inches. Cincinnati, around 3 to 5 inches. Louisville, Kentucky, about 2 to 4 inches. These are decent amounts that will create slick roads and reduced visibility, especially during the peak of the snowfall Thursday afternoon and evening. The second Alberta Clipper Saturday into Sunday brings another round. We are expecting at least another 3 to 6 inches of snow across eastern Iowa, central Illinois, and western Indiana. Davenport, Iowa, another 3 to 5 inches. Peoria, Illinois, around 4 to 6 inches. Champaign, Illinois, about 3 to 5 inches. Springfield, Illinois, around 4 to 6 inches. Lafayette, Indiana, about 3 to 5 inches. When you add both systems together, many areas will see total snowfall of 6 to 10 inches, with some isolated areas picking up closer to 12 inches where the bands set up favorably. On top of these Clipper systems, we have lake effect snow in the forecast. Saturday should see more concentrated lake effect snow back over in far western New York, just to the south of Buffalo. Buffalo, you could see an additional 4 to 8 inches from lake effect. Erie, Pennsylvania, around 3 to 6 inches. Watertown, New York, could pick up 6 to 10 inches. This lake effect snow will continue off and on through the weekend as cold air flows over the relatively warmer lake waters. The snowfall rates during the heaviest periods will be a significant factor. During the peak Thursday afternoon and evening, we could see rates of 1 to 2 inches per hour across Illinois, Indiana, and Iowa. That is heavy enough to create difficult travel conditions and roads that become snow-covered very quickly. Picture trying to drive in this Thursday evening. Snow is coming down steadily at 1 to 2 inches per hour. You can see maybe a couple car lengths ahead. Road crews are working but cannot keep up with the rate of snowfall. This is why we are saying travel will be hazardous Thursday evening and into the overnight hours. If you have travel plans Thursday afternoon or evening, especially in Illinois, Indiana, or Iowa, this is going to create problems. Interstate 80, Interstate 74, Interstate 65, these major routes are going to see difficult condition. If you can delay your departure until Friday morning after the snow has moved through, that would be safer. If you must travel Thursday evening, leave extra time, drive slowly, and increase your following distance significantly. Now let me give you the regional breakdown so everyone knows their specific story. If you are in the northern plains like North Dakota, South Dakota, and Montana, here is your situation. You are going to see the absolute coldest temperatures of this entire event. Saturday morning lows drop to dangerous -15 to -25 degrees. Sunday morning, even colder, with lows -25 to -35 degrees. Wind chills Saturday morning, -35 to -45 degrees. Sunday morning, wind chills could reach -45 to -50 degrees in the coldest pockets. This is life-threatening cold. You will also see light to moderate snowfall today, Thursday, with that ice storm across northern South Dakota, creating dangerous conditions this morning. Travel is hazardous today with ice. Travel is dangerous this weekend with extreme cold. If you must be outside, cover every inch of skin. Check on elderly neighbors. Make sure pets are inside. Make sure your heating system is working properly and you have backup heat if possible. If you are in Minnesota and Wisconsin, this is going to be a significant multi-day event for you. Saturday morning lows drop to dangerous -5 to -15 degrees. Duluth, you could hit -20. Minneapolis, around -8 to -10. Madison, Wisconsin, around -5 to -8. Sunday morning is worse, with Minneapolis potentially hitting -15 to -20. Wind chills, Saturday morning -25 to -35. Sunday morning, wind chills -30 to -40 across most of the region. This is dangerous cold that can cause frostbite in minutes. You will also see light snow today, Thursday, with a few inches possible, especially in southern Minnesota. Lake effect snow continues downwind of Lake Superior this weekend with additional accumulations in the typical snow belts. The worst conditions will be Sunday when the cold is most intense. Make sure you have emergency supplies at home. Full pantry with food that does not require cooking in case of power outages, extra blankets, flashlights, and batteries. Make sure your car has an emergency kit if you must. Travel, blankets, water, food, flashlight, phone charger. Check on vulnerable neighbors and family members. If you are in Iowa, Illinois, Indiana, and Missouri, here is your specific story. You are getting hit with both the snow and the cold. Saturday morning lows will be around -5 to 5 degrees. Chicago, right around 0. Des Moines, around -5. Indianapolis, around 5 degrees. Sunday morning stays very cold with similar temperatures. Wind chills Saturday and Sunday morning will be -15 to -30 across the region. Chicago, wind chills around -20. This is dangerous cold. You are also in the bullseye for both Alberta Clipper snow events. Today, Thursday into Friday, you will see 2 to 6 inches. Saturday into Sunday, another 3 to 6 inches. Total snowfall by Sunday evening will be 6 to 12 inches across much of the region. The timing is particularly concerning because the heaviest snow Thursday arrives during the afternoon and evening commute. Plan accordingly. Avoid travel Thursday evening if possible. Saturday into Sunday, travel will be hazardous with both snow and extreme cold. If you have weekend plans, consider postponing. Stock up on groceries and essentials today or tomorrow, Friday, before conditions deteriorate. Make sure your vehicle has emergency supplies, full tank of gas, ice scraper, shovel, blankets, water, snacks, phone charger, Have your home prepared with food, water, medications, and flashlights in case of power outages. If you are in Michigan and Ohio, your story includes significant cold and some snow. Saturday morning lows will be around 0 to 10 degrees. Detroit, around 5 degrees. Cleveland, around 5 degrees. Columbus, around 10 degrees. Sunday morning, similar temperatures. Wind chills will be -10 to -20 across most of the region. You will see snow from the first system Thursday night into Friday, with 2 to 4 inches possible across southern Michigan and northern Ohio. Light lake effect snow possible this weekend downwind of Lake Michigan and Lake Erie, but amounts should be manageable, generally under 4 inches. Travel Thursday night and Friday morning could be slick. This weekend, the main concern is the extreme cold rather than heavy snow. Make sure you are prepared for sub-zero wind chills. Bundle up, cover exposed skin, check your heating system. If you are in Kentucky, West Virginia, and the Ohio Valley, here is what you need to know. You will see snow from the first system Thursday night with 2 to 6 inches possible across Kentucky and southern West Virginia. Louisville, around 3 to 5 inches. Lexington, around 4 to 6 inches. Charleston, West Virginia, around 3 to 5 inches. This snow arrives Thursday evening and continues into early Friday morning. Travel will be hazardous Thursday night. Saturday and Sunday, you will see significant cold, but not as extreme as further north. Saturday morning lows will be around 10 to 20 degrees. Wind chills will be near 0 to 10 degrees. This is still well below average and cold enough to require preparation. Make sure you have supplies for a few days at home. Travel Thursday night should be avoided if possible. This weekend, main concern is cold temperatures and making sure vulnerable populations are taken care of. If you are in the Mid-Atlantic and Northeast, like Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Maryland, and Virginia, here is your forecast. You will see some light snow from the first system Friday with generally 1 to 3 inches across central Pennsylvania, western Maryland, and northern Virginia. Not a major snow event for most of you, but enough to create slick spots Friday morning. Western New York, particularly the Buffalo area, will see more significant lake effect snow Saturday into Sunday with 4 to 8 inches possible. Saturday and Sunday, you will experience below average temperatures. Saturday morning lows will be in the teens and 20s for most areas. Sunday morning, similar. Wind chills will be in the single digits to teens. While not as extreme as the Midwest, this is still cold enough to require warm clothing and preparation. The main concern for most of you is less about extreme cold and more about the wind chills making it feel uncomfortable. Dress in layers if you must be outside. If you are in the Southeast, like Tennessee, Georgia, Alabama, and the Carolinas, here's your situation. You will not see snow from this system, but you will see a significant cool down early next week. Monday and Tuesday, our freezing line extends as far south as Jacksonville, Florida, and impacts Tallahassee and areas along the Gulf Coast. Monday morning lows will be in the 20s and 30s across much of the Southeast. Areas that normally do not see freezing temperatures could see a freeze. This means if you have sensitive plants or outdoor pipes, you need to protect them. Bring plants inside. Cover outdoor faucets. Let indoor faucets drip if you are concerned about pipes freezing. While this is not extreme cold by Midwest standards, this is cold enough to cause problems if you are not prepared for it in areas that rarely freeze. Let me explain why this is happening, because understanding the pattern helps you understand why this is so significant. Our jet stream right now has a very strong dip located across the Midwest and Ohio Valley today. This is already ushering in colder air, but it is only going to get more intense as we go into Friday and Saturday. Right now, our strongest upper-level winds are coming out of the west and not really coming out of the heart of Canada. Once we go into Friday and Saturday, our jet stream is going to be angled more out of the northwest, directly out of southwestern Canada. This is going to transport massive amounts of Arctic air from Canada across the northern plains, Midwest, Ohio Valley, and into the mid-Atlantic. The dip in the jet stream will be at its strongest late Saturday and Sunday, which is when the absolute coldest air arrives and when life-threatening cold is on the table across Minnesota, Wisconsin, Illinois, Iowa, and the Dakotas. The reason this is so extreme is the source of the air. We are tapping into true Arctic air from northern Canada, not just cold air from the northern United States. This is air that originates from the Arctic region and is being transported southward with very little modification. This is a textbook setup for a dangerous Arctic blast. The models have been very consistent on this pattern for several days now. The European model, the GFS model, they all show this deep trough in Arctic air surge. Confidence is very high on the extreme cold Saturday and Sunday across the Midwest. After this Arctic blast moves through, here is what we are looking at for next week. Monday into Tuesday, conditions remain cold across the eastern United States with temperatures 10 to 20 degrees below average. The coldest air will have shifted into the east coast and southeast by this point, but then we have a major pattern change by the middle of next week. For the first time in a while, our jet stream is going to lift very far to the north, which means anywhere in the central or southern United States is likely going to be dealing with above-average temperatures again. This is going to be widespread by Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday of next week. Many areas will see temperatures 10 to 25 degrees above average. We are going to go from extreme cold to much warmer weather in just a few days. Nebraska, you could see 60s and 70s for high temperatures by Thursday of next week. Some areas in Texas could even reach the 80s. This could actually alleviate some of the bigger winter storm chances until around Christmas, which is still over a week away. Christmas could actually feature some snow in parts of the country, but we will have to wait and see on that. Beyond this weekend, the weather pattern calms down for much of the United States. However, the Pacific Northwest, unfortunately, will continue to get hammered by rain during the early to middle portion of next week. Things do not look good right now for the Pacific Northwest all the way through the middle of next week with additional flooding concerns. A small storm system may pass just north of the United States next Thursday or Friday, but I am not seeing any major winter storms on the horizon for the lower 48 states until around Christmas. That might be the next time where snow makes a big return, but for right now, after this weekend, it looks to be much quieter. Alright, let me bring this all together so you know exactly what to expect and what you need to do. We have a major and dangerous Arctic blast moving through this weekend with 2 rounds of snowfall today through Sunday. This is going to bring significant impacts that require serious preparation. Snowfall totals when both systems are done will be 6 to 12 inches across Iowa, Illinois, and Indiana, 4 to 8 inches from lake effect across western New York, 2 to 6 inches across Kentucky and the Ohio Valley. Peak snowfall today, Thursday afternoon and evening, then again Saturday into Sunday. Travel will be extremely hazardous Thursday evening and this weekend with both snow and extreme cold. Temperature-wise, this is where it becomes particularly dangerous. Saturday morning lows will be -5 to -25 across the Midwest and Northern Plains. Sunday morning, even colder, with -15 to -35 in the coldest areas. Wind chills Saturday and Sunday morning will be -20 to -50 degrees. This is life-threatening cold in the most extreme areas. Frostbite can occur in 5 to 10 minutes or less. Monday and Tuesday, freezing temperatures extend all the way to Florida and the Gulf Coast. This is a widespread, dangerous cold event. Here is your preparation timeline, and this is important. Today, Thursday, and tomorrow, Friday, are your preparation days. Today, take care of any errands you need to run. Get groceries with enough food for several days. Fill up your gas tank completely. Pick up any medications you need. Check your heating system to make sure it is working properly. Tomorrow, Friday, do any final preparations. Make sure you have everything you need at home because you want to avoid travel this weekend. Saturday and Sunday, stay home if you possibly can. This is not the time for unnecessary travel. This is not the time to test the conditions. Here is what you need to make sure you have before this hits. For your vehicle, if you must travel, make sure you have a full tank of gas. Have an emergency kit with blankets, extra warm clothes, flashlight with extra batteries, phone charger, bottles of water, non-perishable snacks or food. Have an ice scraper and brush. Have a shovel in case you get stuck. Some kitty litter or sand can help with traction if you are stuck. For your home, check that your heating system is working properly. Have flashlights and batteries ready in case of power outages. Have extra food and water for at least 3 days in case you lose power or cannot get out. Make sure you have all medications you need. If you have a generator, make sure it is fueled and ready, but never use it indoors due to carbon monoxide danger. Have extra blankets and warm clothes accessible. For your neighbors and family, check on elderly neighbors this weekend. Make sure they have heat and supplies. Bring pets inside. Do not leave them outside in this extreme cold. Make sure everyone in your family knows the plan for this weekend. Have a way to communicate if power goes out. Know where local warming centers are if you need them. This is a significant Arctic blast with dangerous conditions. But if you are prepared, if you take this seriously, if you follow these recommendations, you are going to be fine. The danger comes when people are unprepared or when they underestimate the severity of the cold. We are not exaggerating when we say this is life-threatening cold in some areas. Please take this seriously. We are going to keep you updated every step of the way on this system. I will have another update for you tomorrow, Friday, with any changes to the timing, any adjustments to the snowfall amounts, and any updates on the extreme cold forecast as we get closer to this weekend. Make sure you are following along so you do not miss any important updates. This is a dangerous weather pattern, and we want to make sure everyone stays safe. Stay safe out there. Look out for each other, take care of your neighbors, check on vulnerable family members, and we will see you in the next one.